Good morning, I'm Daniel Van Gundy, Safety Manager for Loven Contracting. This week's Toolbox talk is on overhead power lines. Overhead power lines can be very dangerous on construction sites, especially when working heavy equipment, large vehicles, and conductive objects approach them. These lines carry high voltage electricity and can pose severe risks, even fatalities, if proper precautions aren't taken. Remember to always assume that a line is energized unless the utility company has confirmed that it is de-energized. Similarly, always assume that a line is uninsulated unless the utility company or qualified engineer confirms that it is insulated. Before working near overhead lines, it's important to contact the utility company to confirm the line voltage and if it's insulated or not. If possible, have the utility company de-energize a power line near the active job site. However, this isn't always possible. The minimum safe distance from overhead power lines is 10 feet. This applies to all workers, vehicles, equipment, and tools. The further you stay away from the power lines, the lower the risk of a contact accident or non-contact electrical arc. The minimum clearance distance needed for protection increases as the power line voltage increases. For example, for lines rated 50 to 200 kilovolts, the clearance distance increases from the normal 10 feet to 15 feet. Please reference OSHA's Table A for required distances when working with high voltage lines over 50 kilovolts. Cranes, excavators, dump trucks, and other large vehicles have the potential to accidentally come into contact with power lines due to their size and their reach capabilities. Even if the equipment does not touch the power lines directly, the electrical arc from a nearby line can be dangerous and cause injury or fatalities. For cranes or other equipment with long reach, be aware of the length and establish a no-go zone to ensure operators maintain adequate clearance. Consider installing warning alarm systems on cranes operating in close proximity to power lines. These systems can detect the high current and alarm the operator. The project team should make sure delivery drivers are aware of the overhead lines that they could come into contact with on site. Excavators and other digging equipment might accidentally contact underground cables or crash into nearby structures that could be in contact with overhead power lines. This then increases the risk of electrical accidents. Always confirm utilities, both public and private, have been located and marked before any digging activity begins. Always mark overhead power lines with signs or other markers so operators can see them easily. This may mean marking the lines with a sign anywhere from 15 to 20 feet back. Another option, if possible, is to barricade off the area entirely near the line. Conductive ladders can also be an issue. If a ladder made of metal contacts a power line, it can complete the electrical circuit, causing shock or electrocution to anyone on the ladder or anyone carrying the ladder. Loven Contracting's policy does not allow any conductive metal ladders on job sites. While operating equipment near power lines, use a spotter who can guide the operator and ensure that the equipment stays a safe distance away. Communication between the spotter and operator is key to maintaining safety. Use radios, hand signals, or other clear methods to relay instructions. Be aware of using scaffolding near overhead power lines. For insulated lines less than 300 volts, do not bring scaffolding components, equipment, or tools closer than 3 feet of the line. This distance increases to 10 feet for uninsulated lines and increases further for higher voltage. Did you accidentally contact an overhead power line? Well, that's one way to get a shocking promotion. Just kidding, but seriously, in the case of contact with an overhead power line, workers should immediately alert your Loven Contracting superintendent and stay clear of the area. If you're in a vehicle or a piece of equipment that comes into contact with a line and you're unsure if it's energized, stay inside the vehicle and alert your superintendent. Do not exit unless there is an emergency, such as a vehicle fire, because the ground around the vehicle may be energized as well. If you must exit, jump clear of the vehicle, don't step down, and shuffle away with your feet together to avoid creating a path for the current to flow. If you step down, you'll create an energized path from the vehicle to you and to the ground. Overhead power lines can present a serious safety risk on site, especially when operating large vehicles and heavy equipment are working nearby. By staying aware of these hazards and taking proper precautions such as maintaining safe distances, using spotters, and knowing the voltages of overhead lines before starting work, you can reduce the risk for everyone on site. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully none of this information came as a shock to you. As always, please reach out to Loven Contracting if you have any questions. Have a great day and stay safe.